Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. It's still morning, technically, because it's a couple minutes before 12. So you can see the title for today's video. We're going to be talking about Occam's razor. So you've probably all heard of this before. We're just going to talk about it a little bit. So before I get started, you know I like to talk about why I'm qualified to discuss these things. So years ago, I was actually in the hospital, and I learned about the idea of using food as medicine years after that. So I became a health coach so I could learn more information for myself, and then I wanted to share that information with other people. So that's where I am today and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, yeah, I just want to share this with as many people as possible because during the journey, I learned just how simple the idea of using nutrition and how beneficial it really is. And I just want to share this with as many people as possible. I mean, I realized again, talking to a couple of people recently, that we all just have such busy lives. We have so many things we want to do, right? And when symptoms or diseases stand in the way of that, it's so irritating and it's really not necessary. So that's why I do what I do. And I want to just share this with as many people as possible and really make this as user friendly for you as possible. So if there's anything that you ever want me to cover or anything you ever want to talk to me about, then feel free to reach out. So, oh yeah, and along those lines, I created a course on how to change your diet because I think a lot of people understand why it's important to eat more vegetables and plants and, or change your diet completely, whatever you're ready for. I think a lot of people know why that's important, but they're not really sure how to technically do it. So that's why I created a course. So let me know if you're interested in that and I will send you the link for it and I can talk to you a little bit more about it. So yeah, so back to the idea of Occam's razor. So if you haven't heard that before, I have a definition written down. So I'm just going to be looking over to that for a little bit. It refers to the principle stating when there are competing ideas to explain a phenomenon, the best option is always a simpler one. So you might have heard the idea of if you hear, hoof sounds that, thinking horse rather than zebra is just, it's the easier option and it's the one that's probably right because it's not as rare. So that really applies to health because I think a lot of people kind of get into the weeds that we've talked about before, the details of health. I think a lot of people, are taking kind of weird tests and they have obscure specialists or people from different places in the country that they follow. Not that that's anything wrong with that, but I think a lot of people kind of look to those things because they're looking for a more detailed reason why they feel a certain way when it's really just more basic than that. I think a lot of things, it's really just not necessary to get into a lot of those weeds, a lot of those details about health. It's a lot of things that people deal with are because of basic health, basic lifestyle and nutrition issues. And if they just clean up those basic things, then usually their symptoms go away. The other thing is a lot of people want a quick fix. So that, it might be like taking a supplement versus actual diet change and to really taking a look at what they're doing and seeing how they can change those things. They'd rather just have something external like a supplement that they can take so that they can feel better. The biggest thing is nutrition and lifestyle, which are the basics, are the thing that we should focus on first. And that's usually, what is the issue and the cause of a lot of symptoms and diseases that we have. And we should just kind of clean those up. And that should be the first thing whenever we're, thinking about a symptom or something that we're dealing with. We should just look at basics first. And yeah, if that doesn't do it, then yeah, there may be reasons for other things. But the sad part is a lot of people that I've talked to that get more into the weeds and do more obscure things for their health when they're not acknowledging basics. The sad part is, one, they're taking supplements that I don't think they necessarily need to, and maybe taking things that they don't necessarily need. But then also they're using a lot of money, and they tend to complain about, finances being tight and different issues like that. And I hate to see people like when they could just change some things or kind of clean up their own routine and for nothing usually, or even saving money, they just focus on other things, and it tends to cause a strain on their finances. So I just hate to see people go down that road, and there's really no reason for it. So yeah, so that's the basic message for today, is to really focus on basics first. Yeah, and hopefully that will help you out. So that's just the message to think about for today. So I'm on all different social channels, and we have our Benefits of Eating Plants Facebook group. I will link that down below. I definitely encourage you to join that. We share lots of information, and you can even feel free to post on that. If you have something that you want to share with the group, or you have a question that you want to kind of crowdsource, that's a great way to do it. So I also will post my YouTube link. That's another place where I post lots of information. I've told a lot of you that, I do these lives on Sundays, and then I also post them on my YouTube channel on Wednesdays. So there's tons and tons of different topics and information, all health information, all free. So I definitely encourage you to subscribe to that. Again, I will post those 2 links down below. So I think that's about it. If there's, whether you're watching this live or on replay, then definitely let me know if there's anything maybe you think I may have missed, if you have experience with any of these things, or if, you want me to cover something in a future topic, then I definitely encourage that, because I want this, I say this all the time, I want this to be as useful to you as possible. So if there's anything that you want me to cover in particular, definitely let me know. But I think that's all for today. So have a beautiful and colorful day. Bye, everybody.